Welcome to this online training on communication and capitalization for a cross-border cooperation project. Project management is not only about implementation of project activities and financing, it is also about people and relationships. In other words, communication is an essential part of project implementation, and it requires careful planning as well as allocation of resources in terms of time, money, personnel, and expertise. And most probably, you have already planned your main communication activities in the application form. Our three project partners, Anna, Boris, and Carla, are now starting their project implementation, and together they will tackle the challenge of reviewing their planned project communication activities. But before having a look at how they are dealing with it, let me recall that when talking about communication, we refer to a general framework consisting of three interlinked components. First of all, it is internal communication that enables data flow among the project partners. Secondly, external communication that informs about project achievements. And thirdly, capitalization that supports transfer of project results and outputs. Smooth project management requires efficient internal communication. You should ensure that all partners have the same degree of reliable, timely, and accessible information, as this will increase their co-ownership of the project.
Well, it's true we need first to regularly communicate between us in order to be properly informed on project advancement before communicating to the others. We'll need to draft written procedures to deal with communication flows. Who informs whom, how, on what, and when.
We could use so many options for internal communication. I'm thinking about Skype, joint calendars, online collaboration platforms for file sharing.
There are many tools that you can use, and we have already mentioned some of them in our videos on partnership and on project management and monitoring. But regardless of the tools that you use, don't forget to keep track of your internal exchanges. And in case you have meetings or calls, put in a written form, for example, in an email, main decisions, to ensure shared understanding. So, are you now ready to tell your project story to the world? Okay, don't be scared. You have already defined the main elements of the communication plan at the application stage. But now, our partners will have to develop a detailed communication plan. Let's see how they deal with it.
In order to go into the practical details of our communication plan, we could use the same log frame approach followed for the overall project. I mean, we should develop a matrix where for the main objectives we'll identify key communication messages, activities, outputs, people and organizations that are our target groups.
Good idea indeed, but we will need also monitoring indicators in order to know whether our communication plan is successful. I'm thinking, for instance, about how many participants will attend our events or how many visitors will be on our website. We've already included some indicators for the communication activities in our project log frame.
Well, mind also about the qualitative indicators that will help you to see if your messages have reached the relevant target groups.
True, but then we'll need to foresee some additional measurement tools such as interviews, online surveys. We may need additional efforts.
Let's also have a look at the activities we planned for our first year. Wow, quite a dense workload indeed. Launching our project website a couple of months after the project start, organizing 3 public events, publishing at least 3 press releases.
Wait! Are you sure that this plan is still valid? Most probably, you need to review it in accordance with the overall updated work plan of the project. It is crucial that in this process, the project manager and the communication manager work closely together. They both need to join their efforts in planning the project implementation as well as communication about it.
Once again, we were smart, and in our planned budget as lead partner, we have foreseen hiring a communication manager who should officially join our team in the coming days. She has already been provided with all the project documents.
Happy to hear about her, but do you think she will be able to manage all the workload alone?
Good point. Indeed, the communication manager will need to ensure effective communication on the project achievements. She will also coordinate all project communication activities and ensure that they are in line with program requirements concerning visibility. And in order to do so, she will need support from all partner organizations.
True. Within the Regional Council, we have a communication department, and I will see who in it could be appointed as communications expert.
When you have your communication team, and you have reviewed and updated the communication activities, it is time to see in a more detailed way how you can use the tools that you have mentioned in the work plan, such as project website, events, networking, social media, traditional media, videos, publications, newsletters, and so on.
In our communication plan, we have identified a wide and diversified range of people and organizations as our target groups. But now we have to see how to reach them. Our best bet is social media, as they are low cost, fast, provide real-time information and interaction. They can bring an increase of traffic to our website and offer a good possibility of linking and networking with relevant actors.
But first, we should agree on the messages we want to convey. And in my opinion, first of all, we need to define 2 to 3 key messages, which are short, simple, and give a clear idea of what the project is about. After all, as project partners, we should speak with one voice. For instance, we could say, a new cross-border partnership of Alavir and Rivala regional authorities and environmental associations is working with farmers and waterside property owners to reduce water pollution.
Very good. Irrespective of the tools that you use, don't forget that when you are trying to get media attention, storytelling techniques are essential. Of course, in order to have a compelling story, you need facts and figures first. However, remember to stress the human aspect when you are talking about your project achievements. And last but not least, the implementation documents produced by your program, as additional requirements may apply to project visibility and communication. Now, a project not only has to deliver and communicate its outputs and results, it also has to capitalize them. What does it mean? Well, let me give you a concrete example. When implementing their project, our partners will develop templates and procedures for regular cross-border exchange of data and measurements on river water pollution. It is important to make this knowledge accessible to other groups outside the project and to encourage them to use and transfer the results of the project. All the efforts deployed to transfer the project achievements will become part of the capitalization strategy.
Interesting indeed. I know that a national project managed by the Ministry of Environment is working on a similar topic, and it could be interesting to exchange with them on measurement methodologies.
Well, we could invite them to our next project conference, as we have planned some budget for this kind of external intervention.
Fine, and don't forget, we have also foreseen joining a couple of regional networks of municipalities and NGOs working on river water pollution in order to create some synergies and promote our experience of restoring vegetation on the riverbanks and in decreasing the use of fertilizer.
Well done! I see that you have caught the idea of what capitalization is all about. But maybe you can take a step further. Have you thought about persuading the external target groups and other institutions to reuse your project achievements in other frameworks?
A challenging task, as we know how difficult it can be attracting and keeping the interest of other organizations. But if we include them from the beginning of the project, we could get them.
Well, we could invite some of them to our technical committees or publish information briefings, or better still, draft recommendations on how to implement at a wider scale the tools and technologies tested by our project.
Wait, that's a lot of stuff. Maybe we could draft a plan of capitalization activities, including all the activities, related target groups, and possible tools.
Keep going. And don't miss the opportunity to participate in the activities that may be organized by your program or the national or regional authorities to facilitate capitalization among the projects.
Whoa! Just seen that our first tweet already received 30 likes in less than 2 days. It seems that the message on the need to fight against river pollution has a lot of followers.
For all the steps that we have outlined, you will find supporting material on our platform. We hope that you have enjoyed this cross-border cooperation online training.